Hello friends, today I'll be guiding you through the activity list for the international students who are now planning to go to the UBC. They are new at UBC and they will be starting their semester in the coming month. So many students have already traveled, some are traveling, they are on the way, and some are making their plans. So this particular video gives an overview of the activities which you need to perform before you travel, while you are traveling, after you reach there, what are the activities which you need to actually ensure that you have performed. So basically at present UBC is expecting that all the fall term classes are going to be in person, that is winter 2021 and 2022. So if you are an international students, there is going to be some steps of activities which you need to perform before you reach and start your classes in the university. So I will be walking you through the key activities and the steps which you need to conduct. I start by a disclaimer that we have tried to gather all the information from the various portals of UBC to give you an exhaustive overview of the activities, but due to the ever-changing scenarios due to COVID, there might be some changes which happen, and this may not be a completely exhaustive list. Okay, so please add on to the items which you find is missing to me. Add them in the comments so that I can update it, and this is available for all the parents and students to work with. So starting off, we have divided them into 5 stages. First you need to check eligibility to enter Canada. Then before you travel to Canada, what are the things which you need to actually perform and ensure the documentation. Quarantine plan is one of the key areas, so we are going to touch on that. While you travel, what are the activities which are required, and after arriving in Canada, what are the activities which are required. So going on to the stage 1, which is understand whether you are eligible to travel to Canada. Understand the documents you need for traveling. Get advice whether you need to travel or not. Understand the travel restriction and consider when to travel. The key thing here to understand is that Canadian authorities are allowing the entry of the students as essential activities to be performed in Canada up to maximum of 3 to 4 weeks before the start date of your classes. Okay, so you need to have some documents prepared. The key documents which you need is your passport, which should be stamped with the student visa. The student permit approval letter. This is a very important letter. This comes as a document along with the stamped student visa. When you get that packet back to you, there is one more A4 size sheet which has got the student permit approval letter. That is an important document and you must keep it carefully. This will be required at the time when you are reaching Canada for the immigration purposes. Medical from approved clinics is also one of the activities which you need to perform before you are preparing to leave for your university session of Canada. This applies both for new and the old students, because many students who were already in the campus and they have traveled back to their home countries, if you have been out of Canada for more than 6 months, then you need to redo the medical. So please, all of you, have a medical ready with you. For new students, it is definitely required, and for returning students, they must do an upfront medical. So now we come to the stage 2, which is before traveling to Canada. Gather the documents supporting essential travel to Canada. So you must have the student's enrollment letter with you. We are going to go through those documents which are required. Get the COVID-19 molecular test within 72 hours of your flight. So that is very important, right? So in many places it is written 72 hours from the start of your flight, and in many places it is written 72 hours from the time you reach the immigration point in Canada. So for safe sake, we should always strive for 72 hours before the flight actually reaches Canada. But I understand that many of us are traveling from far off countries. So 72 hours before the start of the flight is also acceptable, is mentioned in many of the places as per my research. As I mentioned to you, get a new medical examination if required, and also you need to confirm your health insurance coverage. I am going to talk about this again in the subsequent information which I am going to pass on to you, right? So let's go to the key points before you travel, right? So what are the key documents which you need at this stage before you are traveling? You need a letter of enrollment from the UBC Students Services Center website, their dashboard. You will be able to download this letter under the sections grades and records. You will, for the new students, you also need to have your admission letter with you, right? And if you have already paid your fees, then the document showing the payment of the fees will also be a document showing that you are entitled to enter Canada and go to your university. Proof of funds in your account or your parents' bank statement would be an added advantage. This is more required for the new students who are going for the first time, which is like, they are starting their university from the fall of 2021. For returning students, as much as I have discussed with the various students who have already reached Canada, they are not checking that statement. But if you have proof of funds in your particular bank account in Canada, you can show that, as well as you can show to them the payment of the fees for the previous semesters. Another proof is being requested from you by the immigration or by the airline, asking whether your travel is essential, right? Apart from what is mentioned on the UBC website, then I have mentioned a email ID here where you can write to this email ID explaining to them the additional proof which is being requested by the immigration or by the airlines, right? So the student services is going to support you in that particular aspect. Okay, so these are some of the few things which basically is going to help us in preparing a checklist so that we don't miss out any of the points, because this is a very stressful time both for the parents as well as for the students. I understand from the parents' perspective, as I am also a parent of a UBC student, and that is why I understand that the various stresses and anxiety which we go through as we are sending our children off to the universities, maybe for the first time, all on their own, right? Now we come to the next stage where we are saying that exactly what is the health documentation which is required, right? So in the health documentation which is required, I have divided it into two parts. First is for the students who had started their classes already in August 2020, that is last year or the year before that, right? So they are already enrolled students. For that, you have to confirm your arrival dates to DCIS, right? This is the insurance company through which we have the IMED. So you need to confirm your arrival date along with the air flight tickets, right? And this is going to help you in getting the IMED email confirmation from DCIS team. Okay. For IMED, for the new students who are starting the class in 2021, you are automatically going to receive an IMED by the email, because the service charges or the fees for the IMED is already covered in your fees itself, right? And if you need to, and this actually becomes automatically applicable on you from 1st of August 2021. So if you are reaching late, because this is only valid for 3 months time, and why the 3 months tenure is considered is that generally speaking, the MSP, the medical plan for BC, actually takes about 3 months to get activated, right? So this covers till the 3 months time. Hence, for the IMED, in case you are going later, I have given the link here where you can click on this and you can actually adjust your date of arrival, which is going to help you in having the coverage completely deployed when you are going to reach the campus. Okay, this can also be done once you have reached campus. This can also be done after that, up to 3 weeks before you have reached the campus itself. Okay, so supposing you have reached the campus on 1st of August and you want to make a change in the IMAD, this can be done within the 3 weeks of your reaching the campus itself. Now coming to the next stage, this is stage 3, which is your quarantine plan. Now for the fully vaccinated students who are going from different countries and from some specific countries like India, where the direct travel is still not available, the students might be fully vaccinated, but still you need to have a 14 days quarantine plan. UBC also has a particular residence accommodation which it has actually earmarked for quarantine, but many a times due to the influx of the students, this particular accommodation is not available. Hence there are other options like the Holiday Inn in Richmond, which is giving a UBC package for the students, which is encompassing the food as well as the shuttle service from airport to the hotel in case it is required. This is required to be booked, hence you have to think of innovative ways of how to book it, because when you are traveling to Canada, this particular reservation of the hotel should already be activated. Hence, at least it is going to charge 1 day of hotel room rate against your credit card. Okay, so if you have another option like you have friends and family, then you can definitely actually put their address as the quarantine location, but you must first talk to them because they should have a separate place in case you are identified in the random selection for the people who basically will be swab tested and you do require a quarantine facility. This information has to be filled into the ArriveCAN application, which is going to, once you fill it up and submit it, then it sends you an email in your registered email which you have given in the ArriveCAN, which is going to give you a token number or a key ID which you should print and go before you reach the Canada immigration. So that is very much required. Moving forward, so while you are traveling, okay, so in that stage, the things which are required from the documentation perspective to bring along with you is the UBC proof of enrollment letter, the negative COVID-19 molecular test. So it has to be the RT-PCR test. Okay, it should not be a general swab test, right? So which should be conducted within 72 hours. Quarantine plan, documentation, stay, food, as well as travel from airport to that location. ArriveCAN receipt, passport with a valid dates, Canadian visa stamped, the student visa. For students who are coming from some of the countries like US, it might be an ETA which is applicable. Proof of health insurance, right? So the recent IMED which is activated, or for the returning students if you have a valid MSP or the reactivated IMED, along with the recent exam test result proof which is like within 6 months, right? Proof of COVID vaccination. For the current students, you will need the study permit which is already issued to you. For new students, the study permit will be issued to you once you reach the airport, and it is issued to you on the airport itself. For new students, you need to have the UBC acceptance letter, and also for the new students as applicable, you need to have the English language test results as needed. So once you arrive at the British Columbia, at the Vancouver airport, then after arriving there, you need to have some of the activities planned which needs to be conducted. So you need to apply for the BC Medical Services Plan, which is the MSP plan. You already have a IMED which is going to cover to you for 3 months, but the earlier which you apply for MSP, the earlier it is going to get activated, and then there would be no loss of coverage in case the MSP gets delayed and your IMED is getting over. Recheck that you have the IMED with you, right? So that is something which you need to recheck once you reach there. Apply for social insurance number. So for social insurance number, previously there used to be a SIN clinic which used to be organized in the UBC campus itself. But now due to the COVID circumstances, this has been changed, and you have to apply it through a link. So in this video, I am going to give that link to you so that you can apply for that. once you reach there. The SIN is required for you for actually any of the work which you will do there, right? So it is going to get linked with your taxations, and this is something which you should keep very, very secret, right? Only with you, not to be shared with anyone else, right? Because that can be misused. You can open a bank account. The main options are Scotia, TD, and Royal Bank of Canada. All these banks have their branches in the UBC itself, and UBC is very well organized, and all the services are available in the campus itself. The most favored bank is the Scotia Bank, but the others are also equally comparable. The choice which generally the students make is the number of ATMs which are available, and evidently there are more availability of Scotia ATMs than the other banks ATMs, right? Hence people tend to favor Scotia, though in my own experience I have found the ATMs for all the banks to be readily available, right? There is a particular section in the SSC, that is Student Service Center, where you need to update your travel document expiry date, that is when is your passport expiring, because UBC then keeps on sending a reminder to you saying that please keep on updating your date. So in case your passport is expiring, at least you are going to get a reminder asking you to go and update your passport expiry or the travel document expiry details. After isolation, once you have completed your isolation, even though you may not be asked to go for a quarantine, but for the 14 days period, try to stay in your room and try to meet the minimal number of people, so that in case of any adverse incident, you are able to actually understand that what are the locations in which you have gone. So you can apply for a BC ID card to avoid carrying your passport for identification at different places. So in Vancouver, basically for every event or sometimes when you are going out to eat in a restaurant, you are asked for your ID and you are supposed to give 2 proofs of photo ID. So one proof of photo ID becomes your student card, which is available with you, which is provided by the university. For the second proof of ID, then you have to take your passport every time with you, which is not a very safe option. Hence, this is the option of BC ID, which is just equivalent to a document which is like a driving license with no driving option available. So you have to go to the nearest driving license office and just apply for BC ID. It is going to come to you through the mail system. It will be delivered at your center. You can opt either for their delivery or you can opt for pickup, right? So you can go back again to that particular office or center and pick it up. You need to apply for your UBC student card, right? That will come as a package from your university in the mailer giving the details to you. You will also get your monthly UPass for you to travel. So travel for students is free, but every time you have to actually swipe your card. There will be zero deduction from your card, but you need to swipe it. Hence you need to carry your card and it should be linked to your student ID. For many of the courses, right, for example, for engineering courses, there is a clicker which is required to be bought out. So this clicker basically is attached to your student number or to your name, and in the discussions during the classes, whenever the professors asks for a particular question to be answered, then you have to use your clicker to respond to the answers, right? And in many cases, these responses are also captured as the responses of your classwork or class attendance, and hence it is important instrument which you must have. It looks like a remote, a TV remote, right? So you can buy a new one from UBC store, bookstore, which is there in the campus itself. Otherwise, there are many Facebook groups where you can purchase it at a reduced cost from your seniors, right? So you can definitely actually hone your bargaining skills to figure out that you know how much price you can get from your seniors. So you are going to save some money, right, in doing that. So in this video, I'm giving the main steps which are involved, and I'm going to make subsequent videos on which I'm going to take you in detail through the various aspects in explaining the nuances of it. So if you see, the main things which are involved after you reach campus and you have settled down is opening of the bank account. It is actually application of the BCID and the application of the SIN number. So here I have provided to you the link where you can go and click and basically apply for the SIN online. This is then going to be delivered to you. This is a sheet of paper, again a A4 kind of paper. You should keep it with a lot of care because it's a thin paper. The chances of it getting torn are higher, hence it is advised to keep it in a file or folder because you are going to require it for a long time. For BCID, you can just Google the nearest driving center, right? And you can just go there at any point of time and stand in a queue and get your BCID activated. So they are going to click a picture there, and then they are going to ask you whether you are going to come back and actually pick it up from the center or you want it to be delivered. If you pick it up from the center, then it's easier because you are going to come in 1 week's time and then pick it up. Mail generally takes more time and it may take a couple of weeks for that to reach you. All the banks are available in the campus itself. The major banks are Scotia Bank, Royal Bank of Canada, as well as the TD Bank. So there is a students building which is by the name of Nest. Nest being the name, as the logo for UBC is a Thunderbird, right? So for Thunderbird, the Nest is the icon where it sits with all the students along with it. So in the Nest building, basically you have an outlet of RBC. You also have an outlet of the Fido phones there. You also have many of the shops which actually offer different cuisines of food, which has pizzas as well as curries and western foods also. So in the Nest you have the outlet for RBC, and just across the UBC Boulevard, then you have the Scotia Bank. The TD Bank is on the other side of the university, just a short bus ride away, which is in the Westbrook village, right? But the ATMs of all of them are quite conveniently available and are easily accessible. So in my video I am showing you the location of the banks, right? So where is the Nest building, the Scotia Bank building, which is between the East Mall and the main mall, right? So there is a bus loop which is there, and the big UBC symbols which you see in most of the videos, right, where you have the big symbols of UBC is written next to the Scotia Bank on that particular junction. UBC bookstore, if you see, is just on the corner here at the lower end. I'm going to do a separate video where I'm going to walk you through the various buildings of UBC and also show you the residences, which are the first year residences, what are the kitchens, as well as the senior residences, which are the buildings which are there. So please subscribe to my channel so that you get informed whenever I will be loading the new information, which I'll try to keep making quickly, so that the parents who are not able to accompany their children for this first journey will be reassured by seeing and advising their children as they are going to see the various particulars which I will be sharing with them. So this was the key things which I actually wanted to share with all the students and the parents. These are the key activities which I have put it together. I am actually going to make a separate video on the details of the activities which you are supposed to carry out once you actually reach there. I have only given the higher level points. So we are going to see you in UBC very, very soon. Thank you so much everyone. Thank you friends.